do you speak about me? When you heard all these things about yourself and you say, Jesus, I didn't live so long. How can I to manage to do all these things? And one of these is Proverbs, and it's a passion in my life, because when you go deep in the wisdom of your country, you find that there is no something new that happened. Everything new is something old that is forbidden for the moment. But I'm here to talk about my new passions, and as you see from my books, I love Web 2000 2.0, no 2.n, as was the sandwich. I love Proverbs, but in the last year I fell in love with improv theater, and I find out that, again, as from the Proverbs, there is a lot of things that you can learn and take in your life, even from something that is improvisation, and something that in most of the cases cannot teach you something how to do it, but how to be prepared if it happens to be done. So I couldn't miss one of my favorite person in my life. I don't know him personally, but last night when I checked, his first video on TED was watched more than 15 million times. It's a Ken Robinson, of course. My favorite person. If I have a chance one day to meet him in person, I'll give him a big hug. But till that moment, the only thing that I could do was to translate his book, The Element, into Bulgarian, and trying to give this book to as many teachers I can, because the teacher is the most important person in any school. It's not the technology, it's not the location, it's not the building. The teacher is the person who can give you the passion to following your passion. So all the people like me who had a great teacher, we are blessed, because a teacher can inspire you to say yes and go for your dreams. So in most of the cases, we go through schools and we learn that failure is a big problem. In most of the cases, we go to a class and we want to succeed. We want to have a great notes, we want to show a great knowledge, to receive a great mark. But when we stand and we don't know the answer, it's not the acceptable behavior in our society at that moment. And think about all the situation in your life in which you didn't know the answer. Not because you're stupid, not because you don't know, not because you are not prepared, just because there are many answers. One of the answers is your answer, but the person who is asking you is expecting you to give you another answer. So when we want to find the right answer, in most of the cases we don't succeed, because in life there is no only one answer in most of the cases. So in most of the cases we say yes, but. And I call this the negative yes, because you heard yes and that make you feel good, but not now. There was a great movie in my childhood, a Bulgarian movie, in which one of the main characters say, my mom will buy me a bicycle, but not now. When? Nobody knows. So you get the yes, but you don't get the bicycle. And in most of the cases, for me, it's much more important to get the bicycle than to get the yes. So I prefer no, but take this bicycle and go away. And yes, but stops you from making a lot of things in life. Think about, for example, if you are prepared to give a TED talk, and you say, yes, as any person in the world, I have ideas I want to spread, but I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't know English. Maybe a lot of people share the same story. Maybe my story is not the most original one in the world, but it's your story, and you have to share it, because otherwise people never will learn about your story. So yes, but it's the negative yes, and it's not serve for anything moving from step 1 to step 2, because you stay in the same situation. The result is the same. You get the yes, but you don't get what you want. So when I checked last night in Amazon.com, there are more than 3,000 books about teaching you the art of saying no. It's a very important thing. Saying no to a person who you don't like, saying no to a job you don't like, but there is no such amount of books about the art of saying yes. And it is sometimes much more important to know how to say yes and moving forward than saying no and staying on the same position. So it is very important, and that is one of the main principles of my new passion, the Impro Theater. Yes, and you have to accept what people offers you and build your story based on what you get. That means that if somebody proposed that you are a cow, you became a cow in the same moment, and you start the story from here. And if I say you are a cow and you say, no, 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 I'm a beautiful lady on the mid-30, 40, 50, or whatever, the story cannot go on. The story will be your story. It wouldn't be the story of both. So if you want to do something with somebody, you have to step on yes and build it together. That is the only way to have a common story. Not many different stories of a single person, but one story of people who are together. So yes, and it's something very important. And when I fall in love, because you find out that I'm associate professor, PhD, so I like books, I like making research. And I find out that most prestigious business schools in the world have improv classes in their curriculum. In most of the expensive MBA programs in the world, students are practicing improv theater. Why? Why it's so important to know all this stuff? Because in most of the cases, there is a different way to say yes and to agree. Of course, there is a different way to say no and to agree too. But in most of the cases, without agreement, you cannot move forward, not only in the theater, in business, in personal life, in education, in everything you start doing with other people. So that is a very, too many words on that slide. I don't like so many letters. But Impro Theater is so important, and it's part of the curriculum of business school because it teaches you to think. You can say that everybody can think, but with the years, we start postponing our thinking for a later moment. Yes, but I'll think later. When? Why later? Maybe you are familiar with Edward de Bono's work about lateral thinking, and he has one very important book in my life, and the title of the book is How to Teach Your Kids to Think, since 0 to 99. How to teach your kids to think. I was thinking when I became a mother that I'm supposed to give food, to take care, in everything, but thinking it's something that happened, I don't know. It's happened. And thinking it's a physical activity which we are supposed to train like we go to fitness, like we do all the other stuff. Think about all the routine work you do. think about what will happen if I move 10 millimeters or 10 centimeters your coffee machine. And in most of the cases in the morning, you wake up and you just go there, but Boshnakova came to your house by night, moving a little bit, and it's not there. You don't think, where is the coffee machine? Because you know it. But in most of the cases, that is an illusion. Because if you accept that you know the things, you stop thinking about how they operate. So improvisation teaches you to think. And that is something very important. It teaches you to react and to be adaptive to different kind of situation, which is real life. In school, as I do, I teach students theory. I teach them how they are supposed to react if something happens in practice. But the things in real life never happen as we teach them at school. All the time there is something unexpected. Maybe the remote control stopped working, maybe the battery dropped down, maybe Boshnakova will lose the way from Sofia to Blagoevgrad and didn't came. Something happened. And the people who will succeed in this changing environment are those who are prepared to react quickly and to be adaptive. And it's something that nobody teaches you at school. We teach you rules. We teach you, if I said A, you say B. But what happens if I say Y or Z or something else? I'm not prepared to react because I know that there is a right question and a right answer. What happens if there is no question? So it's very important to be prepared not only to be wrong, but to react in a ever-changing environment, because unplanned events happen all the times. And maybe you remember a saying from Winnie the Pooh, who said that you don't know what can happen with the bee. That's the life. Everything is a bee, and you don't know. You cannot expect, because they are unexpectable. So creativity, if you look for the announcement about jobs, you'll see that we want highly motivated young people with creative thinking, able to innovate, with smart communication skills, team worker, and ready to work under big pressure, which is solve problems when they arise. And in most of the cases, all the soft skills, as we call them now, are not taught in most of the schools. They are not taught in most of the university. We are supposed to get them from somewhere. From where, nobody knows. So, think with G is all the things that you learn at school. But the only and most important thing that make you different from all the other species is that you can think with the K. Thinking is the ability that gives you opportunity to solve problems, to react to unexpected events, to solve all the problems that arise, and to be creative as never before. So the fact is that we don't have any control, especially when it's come to love. You plan your career, you know that this is your bachelor, after that you go for a master, after that you do your PhD, and somewhere in the middle, on the street, you say the love of your life, and everything goes down. When I was on interview in my young 20s for a TV, and the producer asked me, okay, I will take you. You get the job. But what will happen if tomorrow you get pregnant? And I say, no, tomorrow I will not be pregnant. Say, okay, but think if it's happened. And I say, what do you want from me? to kill my baby to be a TV star, or I don't know what happened, but today I just wanted to do this. Tomorrow, if something happened, I will think. I will change all the situation according to what happened. But I really don't have control of a lot of things that happen to me. But I am able to think how to solve the problems when they arise. Maybe I will go to write another books about proverbs. Maybe I will write story about W's. Maybe I'll go to politics 2.0. I don't know. But thinking will help you anytime to be the best in what you are starting to do. You can say yes, but that's a TED talk. 18 minutes doesn't matter. Thank you for spending 18 minutes with you. Go away, do the same things in the old-fashioned way. Or you can start thinking and try the next time when you catch you saying yes, but, to say yes, and see what will happen. Maybe it's something interesting. Maybe it will be a failure. Oh, who cares? If you don't kill anybody or if you don't make a crime, it's not so important. Think about how many times the great inventors fail when they strive to get the right solution. If they reject trying after the first failure, we'll not have any electricity, any food, anything. Because it's not possible to get the right solution from the first time. It's not possible to find the right formula for the first time. But you have to try if you want, if you are passionate, if that's everything that you want. And say yes, and you'll see how life could be a different place. How can you enjoy even the people who annoy you yesterday? Because you said yes, but. Say yes and give a smile and try to make a story together. And at the end, that's the voice who changed my attitude, who changed my desire to say yes, but, and I was starting saying yes, and. If you come sometimes to Sofia, please watch them. They can make a show for 1 hour and a half from nothing, just thinking, reacting and adapting and saying yes and thank you.